Welcome, radiant Leo souls. Whether you've been blazing through this cosmic jungle with me for years or you've just wandered in, dazzled by fate or maybe just by a well-timed YouTube algorithm nudge, I am honored to have you here at Golden Fortune Leo. This channel isn't just a pit stop for horoscope hobbyists. No, it's a sacred space where we, the chosen children of the sun, decode the fire in our bellies and the quiet echoes of destiny. And if you're tuning in between May 28th and June 3rd, you might want to buckle up because the cosmos isn't whispering this week, it's handing you a cosmic plot twist with a side of emotional truth serum. Let's start with the heart of the matter. Monica Liu, a trusted voice in the tarot space, sets the tone by diving straight into the collective Leo challenge, the Three of Swords. If your chest has felt a little heavier than usual lately, if old wounds seem to be aching with new clarity, you're not imagining things. The pain that's surfaced is real. And lurking behind it, the Seven of Swords, the card that basically screams, surprise. Someone's been playing mind games or hiding their true motives. Classic, right? Just when you thought it was safe to believe again, the universe throws shade like a retrograde Mercury with something to prove. But before you spiral into Leo dramatics, which we all know you're brilliant at, here's the spiritual plot twist. What if this heartbreak wasn't meant to destroy you, but to redirect you? Enter the recent past where the Five of Pentacles tells the tale of abandonment or conscious disconnection. Maybe you ghosted someone. Maybe they ghosted you. Either way, the wheel of fortune spins right through this narrative like divine clockwork, reminding you that what left your life had to leave. Not as punishment, but as preparation. See, in both astrology and Buddhist thought, suffering is often the first doorway to awakening. And this moment? This pain? It's not your ending. It's the sacred rupture before the rebirth. Sometimes life doesn't burn you down because it hates you, it does it because it needs space to plant something better. And Leo, your next season isn't just another chapter. It's a new volume. So if your heart's been cracking open lately, good. That's how the light gets in. Now let's talk about the present moment, Leo, and if you're feeling a little emotionally whiplashed right now, you're not alone. Spirit has you in what I like to call the internal spring cleaning phase, where anything that doesn't contribute to your happiness, your peace, or your 10 of Cups level dream life is getting tossed like expired oat milk. With the Knight of Swords charging in, there's a sense of urgency. You're no longer sitting on the fence, you've got scissors in hand, snipping cords like an energetic Marie-Kondo, and if it doesn't spark joy? Bye. The Queen of Pentacles steps in here like your wiser, grounded alter ego, reminding you to invest only in what's sustainable. And the Ten of Cups? Well, that's the Holy Grail. You're not just chasing happy. You're finally defining what happiness really means for you, without the filters, without the Instagram comparisons, and definitely without the emotional freeloaders. But here's where it gets spicy, because what you don't see coming is that your intuition hasn't been lying to you. You've sensed something was off, and guess what? You were right. While the surface may seem calm, the Seven of Swords is slithering in the shadows, reminding you that someone's actions haven't quite matched their words. It's like being promised a 5-star dinner and getting gas station sushi. That kind of disappointment stings. And while it may feel unfair, it's also incredibly clarifying. This is the universe giving you the gift of confirmation, so you can finally stop second-guessing yourself and start moving from knowing. Now, let's dig a little deeper into the core challenge, the Three of Swords, that beautiful, terrible lesson in heartbreak. When clarified by the Queen of Pentacles, the Eight of Cups, and the Six of Wands, the message becomes crystal clear. Someone emotionally clocked out. Maybe they didn't slam the door, but they sure as hell stopped showing up. And Leo, I know how loyal you are. I know how much you give. But this is your cue to take that pain and alchemize it. This isn't about revenge. This is about reinvention. Turn the heartbreak into your next masterpiece, your next business, your next personal triumph. Cry if you need to, but don't you dare crumble. Not when the universe is secretly cheering you on from backstage, waiting for your comeback tour. Because spoiler alert, it's going to be legendary. Leo. If your past few months felt like the emotional equivalent of a cosmic rug being yanked out from under you, you're not imagining things. The energy from your recent past reads like a Shakespearean plot twist with fewer swords and more spiritual breakthroughs. Around the time we see the Knight of Swords and the Three of Swords making their dramatic entrance, many of you experienced what I'd call a soul-level detachment. Maybe it was a breakup, a job that just collapsed like a house of poorly built astrological cards, or a relationship romantic, familial, or professional that ended with a door slam or, worse, total ghosting. No closure. Just a silence so loud it echoed. But here's where it gets philosophically rich and karmically aligned. With the Two of Wands and the Page of Swords showing up, the story takes a turn. After the dust settled, after you crawled out from under the rubble of that emotional implosion, you did what Leos do best, you observed. You reflected. You asked, not just, why me, but, what does this teach me? You stood at a fork in the road, not just looking left or right, but asking which path felt like home. You began researching your own soul the way an astrologer tracks transits meticulously, with curiosity and intention. And then cue divine timing, the wheel of fortune spun in. The ancient symbol of karma and cosmic redirection didn't show up to punish you. It showed up to protect you. Think of it as spiritual spring cleaning. The universe was clearing out what no longer aligned with your frequency, even if at the time it felt like personal sabotage. That job, that person, that dynamic, it didn't leave you. It was removed so your soul could breathe again. Painful? Absolutely. But necessary? Even more so. Sometimes the universe doesn't send a memo, it sends a bulldozer. That was your past. Now, fast forward to the present moment, and here's where it gets delightfully complex. One of you, maybe them, maybe you, is trying to reconnect, while the other is emotionally barricaded behind a psychic do not disturb sign. The Judgment card enters the chat here, whispering, I finally get it now, from someone who maybe didn't get it when it mattered. Classic retroactive enlightenment, right? And while their newfound clarity might be sincere, it might also be very late to the party. Your heart has evolved. Your definition of happiness has matured. You're no longer chasing a love that looks good on Instagram or a job title that impresses your ex's cousin. You're asking deeper questions now. What does joy feel like in my bones? What does peace sound like in my home? What kind of love allows me to expand, not shrink? And that, dear Leo, leads us to the final cosmic check-in, the reevaluation. Right now, you're being asked to reassess your energy budget. Are you investing time, love, and attention into someone who's giving you crumbs when you deserve the whole damn loaf? Saturn in Aries isn't here to coddle you, it's here to give you clarity. The kind that slices through illusions like a spiritual machete. It's going to expose people's true intentions, ready or not. But that's not something to fear. That's a gift. Because once the truth comes to light, you'll no longer have to guess who's for you and who's just there for convenience. You're not bitter. You're just wise now. And wisdom, in its purest form, is knowing when to stop pouring into cups that leak. So if it feels like you're becoming more selective, more discerning, more unapologetic about your peace, that's not ego. That's evolution. And Leo, you've earned every step of it. As we peer into the near future, dear Leo, the cosmos is sending you a clear but not necessarily comfortable message. With the Six of Pentacles, the Moon, and the Empress showing up, you're entering a season where emotional truths start bubbling up like miso in hot broth. On the surface, Things may look balanced, perhaps even nurturing or abundant, but beneath that soft exterior, there are unspoken feelings, shadowy motives, and possibly some unresolved tension just waiting for the right, or wrong, moment to erupt. And who gets caught in the middle of all this? You. The lion who just wanted peace and a good nap in the sun. Here's the thing, you're learning to become more discerning with your energy. The Six of Pentacles isn't just about generosity, it's about healthy boundaries. You've been giving and giving generously, I might add, but now it's time to ask, are you receiving in return? Are your relationships reciprocal, or are they spiritual vending machines where someone's been taking all the snacks without restocking? You'll likely find yourself pulling back, and guess what? Not everyone will handle that gracefully. When you stop saying yes out of guilt or habit, some people may react with defensiveness, entitlement, or even guilt-tripping. But that, Leo, is their karma, not yours. As the Moon card suggests, their reaction is a reflection of what's hidden in them, not a verdict on your worth. Now, let's talk about emotional closure, a term that sounds lovely in self-help books but in reality often feels like trying to seal a box that keeps popping open. Someone in your life is feeling the sting of regret. They may try to apologize, reconnect, or convince you that things can return to how they once were. But here's the emotional nuance, you're not the same person anymore. Even if their apology is genuine, your spirit has evolved. You're emotionally distant now, not out of bitterness, but out of self-respect. Your energy isn't on clearance anymore. If someone wants access to your heart, they'll need to match your frequency, and no, good intentions alone don't count as currency. Which brings us to one of the most sobering and empowering truths of this journey, the lesson. The Seven of Swords paired with the Eight of Wands delivers a gut punch of realization. You've known, on some level, that something wasn't right. Maybe you ignored it. Maybe you hoped you were wrong. But now the actions or the lack thereof are speaking louder than any sweet words ever could. And it hits differently when the truth finally arrives, not as a thunderbolt, but as confirmation of the whisper you've been trying to silence. But here's where it all turns into wisdom. Your final advice, delivered by none other than the Devil, Strength, and the Fool, is nothing short of a cosmic pep talk. First, you're being asked to confront the toxic patterns you've either tolerated or unconsciously participated in. This could be anything from trauma bonds and codependency to that charming habit of confusing loyalty with martyrdom. The Devil card isn't here to shame you, it's here to liberate you. By naming the thing that has held you back, you remove its power. Then comes Strength, a card that could have been created just for you, Leo. This is your reminder that real courage isn't about roaring, it's about restraint. About taming the wild emotional impulses long enough to choose what actually serves your soul. And finally, the Fool. This isn't about being naive, it's about reclaiming your freedom. It's about packing light, trusting yourself, and stepping boldly into a future that doesn't carry the weight of old baggage or dead-end entanglements. So what now? Now, you enjoy your damn life. You honor your progress, your pain, your power. You stop explaining your boundaries and start building your empire. You laugh a little more, say no a little faster, and dance barefoot in the metaphorical field of your own becoming. You are not here to constantly heal, you are here to live. To be joyful. To be magnetic. To be the lion whose energy is so aligned, it doesn't chase anything, it simply attracts what's meant. And if you've made it this far in the reading, well, you're clearly one of the real ones. So don't forget, if this message resonated with your heart, your higher self, or even just your petty side that finally feels seen, go ahead and like this video. Share it with a fellow Leo who needs a reminder that their glow up is spiritual, not just aesthetic. And of course, subscribe to Golden Fortune Leo, where we decode the stars with a little wisdom, a little humor, and a whole lot of heart. You deserve a life that reflects the royalty you are. So don't settle for anything less. I'll see you in the next one, majestic soul. Stay radiant.